Frankenberry,
Okay.
Chocula, and then an Ecto Cooler.
Sweet. Yeah.
So now we're doing more brunches too. So
Yeah,
you're not nice. Just let me know and
Yeah, absolutely.
get you some comps.
Hi, I'm Becca Whitaker. Subscribe to Raze Chaos.
What's next?
And then it'll ask a few orders.
And welcome back, everybody. My name is Raze Chaos. You know what day it is. Let's get him straight. You know what day it is. It is New Comic Book Day. And this is the week of St. Patrick's Day, so I decided to go with somebody green. It doesn't get any greener than this. We've got She-Hulk with her green hair, dark green hair, lighter skinned green on there. Yeah, this is somebody who doesn't have to worry about what she's wearing on St. Patty's Day. So, yeah. Whew. This is the Savage She-Hulk #1. Came out in 1979. The first appearance of She-Hulk. Created by Stan Lee and John Buscema. Yeah. We got a lot to talk about on this issue. This is a very, very interesting situation here. I'm going to go ahead and put you away because I got some talking to do. He doesn't like listening to me talk. So way back when, with TV, there was a show called The $6 Million Man. And on that show, you had the $6 Million Man, obviously. That was a very successful show. And it was going. And like with all successful shows, the price just started getting higher. It wasn't 6 million, but it was probably closing in on that as far as that goes. Mind you, this is late 70s. But it was going. The TV station just did not want to pump out that amount of money to renew the show. So they had an idea where they took a existing character from the property and one that they had created, and that would be the Bionic Woman. And they said, you know what? We're not going to do another $6 million man. We're going to do a Bionic Woman. And in doing so, they did not have to pay the creators of the $6 Million Man because it was created during the run of the show. So the network had that was their baby. That was their property, and they could do with it what they wanted. And so yeah, a lot of people that worked really hard and were getting really big checks for a while there suddenly stopped, but the network continued to get big checks without having to pay them out because they had made a derivative character that they full had access to. So Marvel had the idea that, well, we've got 2 shows on right now. We've got 2 shows on TV right now. And we cannot let this happen to us. And the 2 shows they had was Spider-Man and The Incredible Hulk. So, what did they do? Well, now we have a character called Spider-Woman who came out for that very reason, to keep the studio from making a Spider-Woman themselves, to do a spin-off of that and then being able to move on without Marvel. And to do a Savage She-Hulk, which would be a mellower version of the Hulk, but it was since that show was very, very popular, they didn't want the studios to make a derivative character in that series to where the studio could just take over and not have to worry about Marvel or anything. So Marvel went ahead and did it. And in the video that I did on the Stan Lee covers, I'd mentioned that some of his creations were kind of questionable. This one actually is one of those characters. Aside from it being the last character that Stan Lee created in 1979, he didn't create another one till like the early 90s with the 2099 comic series. So yeah, this was his last one, and he really couldn't tell you much anything about it. He basically put a general story down. He wrote the first issue of this series, this issue. He wrote, and basically he made a mellower Hulk. And when he passed it on to David Anthony Kraft, he said, hey, make her your own. And he is the person that finished out the entire comic book series and basically added dimension, basically created the actual character instead of the idea that was just in issue 1. So yeah, it's one of those things where Stan Lee got credit for it, but his involvement was kind of questionable. Like, was it really hard to think a female version of the Hulk? Yeah, it's derivative. And when you do characters that are derivative, half the work's already done before you even decide to try. So it is questionable as to whether this really counts as a Stan Lee creation. But especially because so much of She-Hulk's success has come from after her creation, after, Stan Lee had not touched the character in a long time. David Anthony Kraft had created a blueprint. He started putting it down, and then John Byrne kind of grabbed her and took off with her. The ripped white outfit that she's wearing here on the cover, that was basically her costume. Even when she joined the Avengers, all she was doing was wearing a white rag the entire time. It wasn't until later on where they actually decided, hey, let's give her like some workout clothes or something. Can't just have her running around, in a white rag. And, the character has evolved. I love the fact that she's able to keep her mentality, and probably the reason why she's one of my favorite characters is she is this probably one of the most powerful female characters in the Marvel Universe as far as strength-wise, but she's a freaking lawyer, and that's from the very beginning. And so her mental abilities are pretty much on par with the physical. So as much as they like to do stories where She-Hulk decided to go party quite a bit, there was even a storyline where she actually got kicked out of the Avengers mansion because she was going out at night and bringing a bunch of people back to the Avengers mansion to have a big party and not helping with the mess afterwards. But essentially they kind of, and it kind of showed that's how she was being portrayed in the comics at the time. But the whole purpose of that story was to bring her back to the lawyer roots. And I love the fact that she has essentially been able to flex her mental muscles as much as her physical ones, even going so far as to point out that, for the longest time, She-Hulk would still hit the gym because she said she had to maintain the physique, even though, it was incredibly huge. And then somebody pointed out, well, what if you worked out as Jennifer Walters, when you changed, wouldn't that, increase that as well? And so, yeah, it went from her staying locked in her green-skinned armor, so to speak, to where she was a mousy little lawyer up until that point. And they kind of pointed out, like, hey, if you build up Jen Walters, She-Hulk's going to get better. And so it was really, it was a great story of self-improvement. to not coast on the wave that you're on, but to, you know, go ahead and build up the person inside, and it makes the whole thing better. And so, yeah, very, very impressive character design, character creation. They did do the series. Yes, I haven't watched the series yet. I haven't watched any of the Marvel series, and there's a reason for that. But I do plan on getting to it. But yeah, this was a character that I hope brings luck to some people, some inspiration, because that's what this character is basically. Even though she wasn't created to inspire, she definitely evolved into that. So a very inspiring character, when used correctly. One that I hope can even match the popularity of the Hulk, which I think, if anything, she should surpass, because with the mental awareness that she has, I think she should always... I mean, they keep bringing the Hulk back to Professor Hulk, because having a raging behemoth tearing through everything only goes so far. So, yeah, I enjoy the fact that she is there. It is a Target exclusive, and it was one that I jumped at and wanted immediately. This is going up into my favorites as far as the comic book covers go, because this is exactly what the kind of thing that I really think they should be doing with the covers, is showing off the first appearance, and giving me like the opportunity to flex nerd on the internet public as I choose. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Yes, this is one of my. This is in the top echelon as far as the comic book covers go, and there is a whole playlist dedicated just to the comic book covers if you are interested in looking at more, because these are my favorite thing that Funko is doing right now. Even the ones I don't like, I'm actually enjoying. Like I said, I've picked up a couple that I kind of question why they even exist, but I picked them up nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Click like on this video if you've enjoyed it and found it a little bit informative. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I do get all these covers, and I do it every Wednesday that I have one. I pop them out on Wednesday so you can take a look, and I have the playlist so in case you want to take a look at it. Yes, we got that. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of She-Hulk and why she's your favorite character. And never forget, life is full of odd moments, and you never know when you're going to be defined.